Hello, and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. We love a Sunday special, a bite-sized episode to share with the group chat. We want everyone to send these around, make it your Instagram stories. We love a good share, right?
A good share, a good singular topic.
Yes.
That's relatable, that people like. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Thank you for everyone who came to our Chicago show.
Love it.
We're recording before it happened, but I'm sure it was incredible.
As they always are. That's the thing. These live shows are fun for the whole group chat. You know, it starts conversations. I would say bring someone you're seeing. I think this is like a great fifth date. I think it's a great fun way to like start conversations, continue ones that you've had at the brunch table. It is for anyone, not just people who listen to the show. If you have friends that are, I'm not a podcast person, or I listen to this other show, and whatever, you're going to have a great time. And we're coming to Boston, Philly, DC, and New York City. Betches.co/UUpLive for tickies. Get them, right?
Go get them. Where are you going to be?
I got shows. I mean, I'm back from Europe, and you know, the beat moves on. I got this whole new set. I'm doing a lot of material about family. So I think if you want to bring your fam out over the summer, you're going to hear.
It's a perfect family thing. You can laugh together. Usually you have the same sense of humor as your family. So if you like something, your mom's going to like it too.
I agree. And I was at dinner with someone recently, and they were friends with my parents, and they said they brought their grandkid to a stand-up show, and they were like, it was a big mistake. It was dirty. It didn't feel right. And I was like, yeah, you got to be careful who you go to a show with, you know, and people, I think I'm more in the middle than.
Yeah. Fun for the whole family.
Right. You could sit next to your dad at my show. And I'm going to be in Kansas City, Nashville, Stamford, Lexington, Charlotte. I'm probably adding more dates to the calendar as I, because we're so far ahead. We get ahead with these things.
Never miss an episode.
We don't miss. That's right. We're here you're welcome. You're never without us. Even on a Sunday. And listen, we're on YouTube. Go watch the YouTube channel. We love that, the facial expressions that go with what we do here. It really is. It's the
adds flavor to the show.
Yeah, it's the salt. It's the tagine. It's the sugar on the
spice of life.
Right.
They always say that YouTube videos of podcasts are the spice of life. Right. That's how the old saying goes.
That's how they say it. Do we want to jump right in?
Let's jump right in. Why not?
Why not?
Right?
You want me to read it?
Sure. And then when we get to the text, we'll do this.
So yeah, we have the screenshots. So if you like a deal reveal episode, we're doing that. If you want your deal revealed, if you're dealing with a situationship, if you want a deal reveal, if you want a dating app makeover, if you want to talk to us live at the live shows, send in your things, whatever you're dealing with to UUP at Betches.com, UUP at Betches.com. Title it live show and what city you're going to be at so we can get you to be a part of the show, right?
Yeah, come on stage with us. We do it in real time. We'll text that fucking asshole you've been seeing.
Right.
We'll text him with you on stage.
That piece of shit.
What could be better than that?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Hi, J&J. Huge fan, benefit subscriber. Absolutely love you guys. Need your help deciding if this guy's reaction to something is too big of a red flag to move forward with seeing him. Background. I met this guy through friends of friends about 3 weeks ago. We've gone on a couple dates in the week since and ended up spending a good amount of time. I'm the worst reader right now. We've gone on a couple of dates in the week since and ended up spending a good amount of this past weekend together. His last relationship lasted 8 years, led to an engagement, ultimately ended about a year and a half ago. My last relationship was 4 years ago and ended really badly. I've had some serious walls up since then, and I'm usually really, really quick to call things off with guys I start seeing. For context to my text, you should know I'm moving to a new apartment soon, plus traveling this weekend, so I have tons of packing and prep to do over the next 2 weeks. So this situation So the situation. Earlier in the day yesterday, he asked when we can see each other next. I didn't think much of it, reminded him I'll be out of town this weekend, but when I'm back, we should definitely find a time. He said no rush. He said he was just wondering and we could wait until he's back. He's sure I'm busy with everything, quote unquote, the move. These are the texts I got after trivia. All right, ready?
I am
You're her.
Her, yes. Okay. Damn, you guys must be smart. I've literally never done that good. The only trivia I've ever won is office trivia.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of killed it, LOL. I'm unerring.
Unerring?
I'm unerring?
Mm-hmm. Like he's not erring. It's a stupid word.
Is unerring a word?
I think like he's not making a mistake. I think that means...
I've never even heard of that word. Is he...
Unerring means always right or accurate.
Wow. That makes me hate this guy. But I get it, dude.
It's kind of a stupid... it's a little stupid. I agree.
What is he, in full trivia mode?
I'm never wrong.
Right. Like, yeah. Like, he's got to use his trivia words to show me how smart. We get it. You're good at trivia. You're smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we kind of killed it, LOL. I'm unerring from here. It doesn't even sound right in a sentence. I'm annoyed. I'm unerring from here.
We hate you.
I hate this guy. Dump him. I'm unerring from here, but I'm down the street from you if you want to break for a drink, LOL.
Haha, not tonight. My energy's pretty low right now. I was actually going to wrap up soon and then lay down.
Okay, no worries. I hope you had a good night. I hope you have a good night. Smiley face.
Yeah, you too. I'm happy you killed at trivia. Haha. Okay.
And then he writes
this is that night. Later that night.
Later that night. About to be home. Sweet dreams with a sleeping emoji. Then he follows it up. Hey, maybe we don't plan something next week. Not a big deal. I would love to see you again, but I'm not sure I want to. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you some other time. Then he follows up again.
Almost 2 hours later.
Later in the night. Sorry, that seemed out of nowhere. Sorry, that seemed out of nowhere or weird. Just had some feelings tonight that I don't like to feel, and probably best if I just back off for a bit.
And then she answers the next morning. I mean, I'm totally confused, and yes, that's out of nowhere, but if that's what you want.
No, it's not really what I want. Hard to explain over text and probably sounds stupid. But I'm sorry, I just reacted to how I was feeling last night, and only a little part of it had to do with you. Like I said, hard to explain. I would be happy to call you and clear things up, but you can let me know if that's okay if you have a minute.
Okay. So then why don't we finish the email?
He called me in the morning and said after leaving a trivia thing, he and his coworkers walked past my apartment and he pointed it out. His coworkers said to him basically, wow, she lives this close and wouldn't come meet you? Apparently that made him start thinking deeper into it, how he must really not be interested if I'm not meeting him for a drink down the block last minute. I explained that if I'm makeup off, in sweats, contacts out, glasses on, middle of trying to pack stuff, it's not like I was sitting on my couch looking cute, drinking wine, doing nothing when he texted that. It may just be a few minute walk away to meet him, but that doesn't mean it's just a few minutes to total to get ready and meet him. He kind of apologized for how he texted, but it didn't feel very sincere. He also talked about getting in a fight with his sister, which is part of why he was upset, but I didn't get how that was relevant to what he said to me, LOL. It was very off. It was left off very much as him being like, I'm all good. I want to see you again. I want to keep this going, without much thought of how I felt after the situation. I'm feeling that him having this high expectation after just a couple of weeks knowing each other and his reaction to jump to passive-aggressively ending things instead of just a mature conversation about the situation feels pretty concerning to me. Am I wrong in thinking this was a serious overreaction to me not meeting him, or was I wrong not to go meet him? Is this something I should let go and see how it goes from here, or is this enough of a red flag to call it? Need your sage advice here.
To me, this guy is clearly, and usually we see this a lot in women in the emails we get, and I think this is great because it's showing a guy in this too. This guy is clearly very anxious.
Yes.
He's a very anxious dater. Mm-hmm. He's overanalyzing why she didn't come. His friend said something. He couldn't stop thinking about it. He turned it into this huge thing that's way bigger than it did. And then that part I understand because I could see why my head would go there. And maybe he was drunk and he like, and then he was just like, I'm just going to end it before she can end it. Or I'm going to like withdraw so that she has to chase me or something.
Right.
But it doesn't really seem like he's showing that much vulnerability in speaking to her.
Right.
Like, and he seems to like, again, like I didn't like the most concerning part to me was that on the call, he wasn't like, I'm sorry, I totally overreacted. I get anxious when people don't answer me, and then I kind of self-sabotage. And so I really apologize. It's like totally a me thing. I totally understand why you wouldn't come. It's not a big deal at all. Instead, he was saying like, I'm not mad. We can still go out. To me, it just shows maybe like a lack of self-awareness.
Right. I think it shows an incredible amount of insecurity. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but even to not, like, take the sword, you know, like what you're saying, I agree with. Hey, I fucked up. I had a moment. Like, there's, like, a very easy way out of this, you know, where you go, but you also have to be willing to lose the person with your vulnerability. And he's not willing to lose the person because of his insecurities. Like,
yeah,
you know, if he had said, hey, I had a moment last night, I got in my head, had a few drinks with friends, in the same way you were just saying, like, and it got to me, plus this other thing with my sister, I'm just going through it, and I like you, and, you know, and I like you, and it all kind of came out in a big word vomit text that I really regret, but hopefully when you're back from, you know, the move and the vacation, I'd love to get drinks again. You know, that's like a normal way, where the thing that sucks about that way, the normal way, is that that person goes, now it's a reveal. You've walked yourself into showing your cards. Hey, I like
right.
you. And instead of that, he opted for the insecure route again, which is, you know, blaming
ignore it,
blaming other people, never really taking the loss. And to me, when she says, should I have gone, or did he react too much? It's like, this isn't about that even.
Nothing to do with that.
That is, you not going that's life. Hey, I don't want to go. We're done. You know, like I that's okay. You're allowed to not want to go. You don't need for you to even go into the makeup thing. Like, you're doing him a lot of favors by being like, you're doing his ego all these favors of being like, I had the makeup and it takes a long time versus no makeup. No, you didn't want to go. It was fucking late. I'm tired. It's not about you. It's about
for whatever reason you didn't want to go. It could be anywhere. You could have been sitting at home drinking wine and just not in the mood to fucking go meet him and his friends.
Right.
It's fine.
And we're early on, so who the fuck cares? You know, I don't owe you this. It's, you're not my boyfriend who's having a tough night, who just got in a fight with his girlfriend, where that's different. Like if you're his boyfriend and you're like, I don't want to leave the house, and he's like, I'm having a tough night, I just got in a fight with my sister, and then you didn't leave, I would go, okay, maybe this isn't the partnership he's looking for. That's not what this is about. This is, he got very insecure. Now he won't admit that he's insecure because he won't admit that he likes you. And I think this kind of goes back to, and it was something that like is a little bit noticeable in this, is that they met through friends of friends.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a big difference in the dating app guy versus the friends of friends guy.
How so?
Well, I think, and I've mentioned this in the past episodes when we just taped, is this idea of like, when you've matched on a dating app, she's into you. Or you think that she's into you more than she is, but you live in the land of a reality where this woman thinks I am a great catch because they've liked me on a dating app.
Right. I mean, they've spent the whole weekend together, though. Doesn't he know that? But I don't even think it's about that.
But I do think, like, if you meet through friends of friends, there's a mystery of, are they into me? Am I doing a good job? And this will be reported to the friends of friends. This will be, and if you're an insecure guy, now you're going down the road of, oh my God, she won't meet me out. She's going to tell them I wasn't a great date. You know, I think these kind of relate, where it's like, he's insecure. He won't let it be known. He doesn't want to be dumped by the one who knows his friends. And look at coworkers giving him shit. Like, if my friends were like, she lives right there, she won't go out with you, I'd be like, really? You think that's a big deal? And they go, no, we're fucking with you. Like, the idea that, like, he's in this, like, ego war with his coworkers could affect him that much to make him go down that road. Like,
well, here's the thing. Like, I feel bad for him, to play, devil's advocate for him. I feel bad for him because I see a lot of myself in him, in my early dating, especially. And when you're calling him insecure, which I agree he is, but it's really anxious. He's like high anxiety around dating. And I don't know where he got that from. And I mean, for me, it was like, and it's hard to date an anxious person because you kind of have to like be constantly assuring them that you're not like leaving. If you're into them. And I think that, I told you about that book that I loved, that Attached book, which is just sort of like playing out like what happens when you are dating an anxious person, or that person has a lot of anxiety. And a lot of it is from like, because people can change your attachment styles. People can turn you anxious. Like for me, I would act that way because, I was obsessed with this other person where they kind of almost like turned me anxious because I would get all those mixed signals, which causes you to overanalyze every single signal of like, are they into me? Are they not?
Right.
So then you're like overanalyzing every single thing, and then you become your own worst enemy, and it becomes this like self-fulfilling prophecy where you actually do turn people away because of this anxiety, because you're like difficult to deal with, because you're constantly overanalyzing things and turning them into bigger things than they're not, or as a sign of rejection. And then you ruin it. So I would suggest to him some therapy.
Well,
because it's very hard thing to like get over.
Other than him, my message to her is like, you right now are explaining this in a way where like, you've dealt with it. You've gone to therapy for it. You understand it. You even to say what you just said is vulnerable. Like, in the land of red flag deal breakers, should she keep going with this guy? Like, to me, it doesn't seem like he's ready to be dating anymore.
I agree. And when I used to do this and not take accountability or be vulnerable or put my cards on the table, I wasn't ready to date either.
Right.
And so I didn't even realize that was self-sabotaging me at the time. But it's funny. I mean, like, that's why I went to therapy even through my relationship with Mike. It wasn't over when I met him because I would do a lot of this kind of shit frequently. Well, and I guess he dealt with it, but especially when I was drinking.
Right. Well,
if I think about it.
There, when you would say like, so I guess like this text that he sends where one of the texts, it says, I hope you had a good weekend and I'll talk to you sometime or other time, where he kind of like does that, like if you want me, you know where to find me.
You have to chase me.
Right.
Yeah.
When you've done that text, did you come back the next day? Like with maybe if you've done that with Mike, did you come back the next day and go and not really make him feel validated?
Well, Mike
that this was bizarre.
Mike's the perfect example, and I think our drunk fights are almost the perfect example, because I think in the beginning of our relationship, when I would feel like a rejection from him at some point, even if it was before we started drinking, and then we were drinking, and I would get drunk, and I would get really in my head, and I would get really angry at him, and then I would act out by like not speaking to him while we were out, or like And then at first, I think the next morning, like you said, before you're ready to be vulnerable, I was just like, well, you didn't answer my call. And I was really mad about that. And you didn't answer. And I thought that was really fucked up. But put it on the actions. Right. Again, put it on the actions. But then cut to like, I would say 2 years ago, which is probably the last time I had done this, which I'd still done it. And we get into a fight at a wedding. And the next morning, he's pissed at me because I was like doing the same thing that I had done. But this time, I had said, I got in my head. I felt really rejected when you wouldn't dance with me or whatever the fuck it was. Like, and I'm sorry. Like and because I'm drinking, I'm getting fixated and I'm harping on it over and over again. And this is really just due to like some weird, probably irrational fear that you're going to leave. And that scares me. And instead of saying that when I'm drinking, obviously like it doesn't come out the correct way. Instead I try to protect myself by ignoring you and making you chase me, or which doesn't really work at all. Or like,
right.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I think that's just such the difference from the beginning of our relationship to the end. And like, I could easily have seen a situation where we were early on in dating. He was like, well, fuck this. She's just like, they meant she's crazy. Or like this woman might say this about this guy, like he's crazy. Or, he's like clingy, or he's acting insane. Which I could see are all valid interpretations of that result. But I think Mike, kind of a patient guy, and like, that's something we had to work through. And it was like a lot of my shit and asking for what I need.
But even so, like, I'm sure you felt better from the conversation that came out of, hey, I'm doing this because I'm afraid you're going to leave me. Like, you got more out of that conversation than you got from, well, you didn't send me the right text that day. Like, that got you nothing.
100%.
Like, that got you that didn't make you feel better. That didn't even get you guys talking. You're putting up a wall. Like, in the same way this guy put up a wall and he's not ready to be turned down on the basis of his vulnerability. He's ready to be turned down on the basis of, well, I guess I won't fuck up next time.
Right. When that feels safer somehow than like saying what you really feel. And that's why I'm saying I feel bad for him. I get it. I was there, but like, it doesn't work. It doesn't like actually serve you, even though it protects your ego a little bit. Cause in your ego, you're not like, oh, I just told this person that like, I care about them and these are my fears and this is my, weakness. And it can feel more empowering, but it's like a fake bullshit, not real. Like you said, it's like actually a lot more insecure. It's a lot more secure to just say like, I fucked up. This is why I did this. And, it's because of this fear that I have that doesn't even necessarily have to do with it.
So would you give you another chance in this scenario? Like, I mean, I understand why you're like, this guy is me. Like he is doing things that I've done in the past.
Yeah.
Would you say like another chance is what he needs? Or do you think he's even ready for another chance? Like if I'm her, I'm like, I guess she has to like kind of deal with like, was I not right for not going to the bar? It's like, do I want to like go through this guy's learning process that he might not even be ready to learn yet?
Right. Do I want to even do this with this person? I agree. I think that's what I would do if I were her, because you have nothing to lose at this point. I think you could say, the honest truth about this is like, listen, like I really didn't like how you handled the situation when I didn't go there. Like I like you and I've been like having fun with you, but like, and I understand if you were like feeling a little insecure that I wasn't as into you, but if that's the case, like you can just tell me and like, we'll figure it out. And if you, and I'm happy to talk to you about that, but I don't really want to like have a relationship where I'm being like, everything I do is being overanalyzed and then you're lashing out at me. Like that's not how a healthy relationship works. And that's not really what I'm interested in doing. So if like, you can't go there or like, just tell me if you're feeling slighted or tell me if you're feeling bad about yourself or bad about, or insecure about if I like you or not, like that I can deal with, but I'm not really going to deal with like you just getting angry at me.
Right. And then blaming me or blaming all these 30 million things that made you this way when it was really just your insecurities.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
that's a tough,
why not say
that's that? A very like, I'm down to work with this route. You know, like
yeah, if you are.
Right.
I mean, and I only say that because like, I don't know if Mike was like, fuck it with me. Like I would have felt bad.
Right.
Like, I think I like at the end of the day, I don't think I'm like that at all anymore. I don't think I feel that way at all. I don't think I pull that kind of shit anymore. But
right, because
there was a time that I did, and I think it's nice that he stuck it out with me because I'm pretty cool.
Yeah. So this guy might be pretty cool.
Who knows?
Who knows? Or, you know, he's not. But
or you cut, yeah. Or you cut and run.
Yeah.
Which other people have done when I've done that. So
right, their loss.
Some might say.
So, we would say, myself and the You Up audience listening right now, and I think we solved dating again and helped them out.
I think we did it. So proud of us. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Boom.
Bye. The You Up podcast is produced by Sean Kilby, Maddie Paul, and Jorge Morales Pico. Editing by Jorge Morales Pico. Social media by Maddie Paul. Be sure to follow at you.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.